Oh yeah, by the way, this is actually a Latin phrase. I had no idea. It means through my fault. And it actually is a prayer of confession. So it's a prayer of confession in the Catholic Church. Even though religion really wasn't prominent in this at all, it still kind of sticks to the overall theme. So I'll give it that. I was actually going to do my usual format for this video by just having a picture in black and then slowly popping up and then going away, but I'm like, nah, I'm gonna bust out the webcam for this. Honestly, guys, I'm not really surprised that this movie didn't do well, because to be honest with you, Tyler Perry, even at his humble beginnings, starting off being in film, had these issues, and I'm not really surprised about it at all. This movie was not great. It wasn't even funny. I thought it was going to be like so bad it was good, or so bad it was hilarious. It wasn't even close to doing that. And that's a shame, because Tyler Perry is a vet. He's been in the game for a very long time. This is not really an excuse for him. And I'm not surprised that he actually decided to open this on Netflix during Black History Month, because I guess he assumed that no black people were going to say anything bad about how bad this is. Well, he was wrong. There were a lot of people that actually did say, well, it's not so much they said something bad, they just critiqued it. They were honest about it. This was really not a good film. There were some that didn't really say anything bad about it because it was Black History Month. But then there were some that were actually honest about how bad it was. And for me being black, I'm not going to necessarily say it's good because of black. Y'all should know this by now, for those that actually have seen my videos. But to be honest with you, this could have been better. This had a potential to be really good. It just wasn't. And it's a shame. The cast was okay. I mean, from the jump, I know that Kelly Rowland really isn't that great of an actress, but she has a lot of room to improve. And the fact that she was playing a top-end lawyer that we didn't really see do any lawyering at all on the show, and I really do hope that nobody kind of puts her in the realm of Claire Huxtable from The Cosby Show, because Claire Huxtable actually had a few scenes where she was in a courtroom where we actually could see what she can do, and that's what I kind of wished here. But let's be honest, Tyler Perry does not know how to write any lawyer scenes. Not a lot of people who haven't had experience in that realm do. So if you do have to have a lawyer scene, just get some type of consultation from an actual lawyer, and they'll tell you exactly what to put in there so it can make some sense and actually make the characters look good. But that didn't happen here. We didn't see any lawyering. We didn't see any murder. We didn't see anything that happened with these characters, and we barely knew anything about them, and that was the biggest flaw. The one thing I really want to know about was the Harpers. I want to know a lot about Mia's husband, as well as Mia's brother Ray, and also the mother. The strange thing was there was no dad, and I thought there would be a dad in this, like an actual family, a family unit. That interesting that this was actually a biracial family. So I'm like, where's the father? That would have been nice to actually see the dad there with a white mom as well as two biracial kids. That would have been really interesting to see, because that's not something he would put out there. He really wouldn't put that out there that often from what I've seen. I haven't seen any of his new stuff, so I have no idea if he's already done that. But this has so much room to be good. But I will give some praise to the setup. The actual background, because they shot this in Atlanta and Chicago, it looked great. The setting looked great. The loft itself looked amazing. All the places, Mia's office looked amazing. They had really good sets, really good areas to shoot, as well as Mia looking good. But is Kelly Rowland? Do you honestly think she's going to roll up in there looking busted? No, I wouldn't be shocked if she put that in her contract. So I'm not really surprised she was in there looking good, but she did look good. I was honestly surprised how far she went. Like, I didn't really think that she was going to have a nude scene, but she actually did, partially. But I was shocked she went that far, because that's Kelly Rowland. I mean, straight up, like, Christian Kelly Rowland. I wouldn't expect her going that far, but I guess she's really serious about being an actress, so that is something. But as for Trevante Rhodes, I would have never known that this guy was an Oscar winner by looking at this. Like, he just came off as a guy being high every single scene. He wasn't very attractive to me. I don't know why people thought the whole artist trope, well, that was how it was in the 90s. And I think that was his angle here, meaning that he should have switched it up and made it based in the 90s. But I guess the whole 90s trope was, the tragic actor being, brooding and sexy in a certain way. I didn't get that from him. I didn't get any chemistry at all between Zaire and Mia. Like none. I mean, maybe there would be some tension if we saw it earlier on, but we really didn't. It just happened. It just felt random. And a lot of complaints that I've seen from some of these reviewers was definitely the erotic scenes. They felt random. They felt out of place. Some people thought it was cringy. Some people thought it was beneath him, but it was an erotic thriller. It made sense. Just like Indecent Proposal and Basic Instinct, they're classics. They are absolute classics when it comes to an erotic thriller, and they did it right. No pun intended. Or maybe some pun intended. I don't know. But the fact is, they actually did a good job with it because it made sense for it to be in that particular world at that time. And even with 50 Shades of Grey, as bad as I thought it was, it made sense all the way through, but we got to know the characters and why they were the way they were. We didn't really have a chance to see that in any of the characters here. The mother-in-law, Azalea, was incredibly cartoony. She was like the most cartoonish villain I've ever seen, but that is a trope of Tyler Perry. Remember from Diary of a Mad Black Woman how angry and mean the woman's husband was? I forgot her name. It's been a while since I've seen it. But the big time lawyer, her husband was just straight up mean, very abusive, threw her out the house, and it was just in a weird way. We didn't really have any setup on how that came to be. And honestly, that's what I kind of want to see in films now. I want to see a very complex person. I want to see why people see this person as a villain, even though they might not be a villain. And the fact that Azalea had cancer, and I say that in quotes, not to spoil anything, but at this point I am going to spoil it. So if you want to see it for yourself, by all means, don't watch. The fact is that she didn't have it in the end. But she was incredibly young for being in her 60s. Like, she looked like she was my age, or maybe a little bit younger than that. There's no way this woman can pass off for being 60 years old with cancer. And for somebody that has chemotherapy, and I actually know a few people that have had chemo, you're not going to have any energy afterwards. So how in the world are you going to have enough energy to cook several meals when you're fresh out of there? Really? And I guess I'm going to get into the plot holes. There were a lot of plot holes, too many to name in this film, to where it really did just break the film altogether. And it wasn't even funny. It just made things worse as time went on. And also it made Mia look more and more dumb as time goes on. Like, she really couldn't do her job, almost at She-Hulk levels. And that's kind of sad, to be honest with you. The best friend, Charisse, I think her name is Clarice, or I think it's Clarice. But her best friend was just the typical, and I'm gonna put it out there, she's not like that no more, the typical Sanaa Lathan, you can probably say Angela Bassett in the past type of abused character. Yep, I said it. Angela Bassett in her heyday, not like since Black Panther, but way back when, has played more abusive women that I can count on several hands. The same thing with Sanaa Lathan. Most of her career was that, and it stopped at a certain point, as well as with Angela Bassett. But good grief, it was bad, and that was the character she played: a very quiet, weak, abused wife. That's a trope that Tyler Perry always has in there. Also, he has the drug addict angle, and yeah, he had the drug addict angle in here. It's just it wasn't crack or wasn't cocaine. It was just anesthesia. Like, Mia's husband was an anesthesiologist, and he got fired because he got high on his own stuff. And he's an alcoholic. You had to add alcoholic in there too. Like, that's the reason why I believe that Tyler Perry probably had a glass of wine, like sitting on his desk with his laptop right there. He started drinking the wine. The more drunk he got, the more he typed. Because that's what it was. This could have been really good. I don't think he was sober when he did this. It doesn't seem like he was. This was so ridiculously bad. The ending was even worse. They tried to make it like Get Out. He really made this like Get Out. And when I saw that, I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way, because Get Out actually had an overall theme and it stuck to it. There was really no plot to this. There was no theme to this. There was nothing to this. There was no reason for Mia to even be attracted to this guy, let alone go to his house to do business. Not that business yet, but business in general with his case. It made no sense for her to go to his home And then also you had her best friend get with the same dude. Okay, that made absolutely no sense. It just seems like he was just throwing stuff on the wall and hoping it would stick. And then the fact that the big twist, and I think the big twist was kind of maybe poking at the fans, especially the black fans that criticized him for having the dark-skinned characters to be the villains and the light-skinned characters to be the heroes. Yeah, he switched it. You had the light-skinned characters, the biracial characters, pretty much to be the villains, and then you had the dark-skinned brother to be the innocent one. So yeah, he switched it up. I think it was a jab at fans. This was like an angry rant turned into a play, or turned into an actual script and put into a film. And honestly, even though the production was great, the quality of the script was terrible. And that's really no excuse for him. He's been in the game for a very long time. I am happy that a lot of people are not giving him a pass who are black because he is black, because we've seen so much great material from black producers and directors as of late. And Black Panther being the best example, in my opinion, from Ryan Coogler, the best example, as well as Creed, which is probably one of my favorites, the first movie. And we've seen so many good movies and so many good shows that was produced by black directors as well as black producers. So that shows that we can do the work. It shows that the black men and even black women can do the work. They can bring out good stuff. So you want to continue seeing that instead of this mess. Like, you don't really want to see that all the time. And the fact that he has been out there for a long time is not really an excuse. This movie was really, really bad. And I'm glad it was on Netflix. I'm glad it wasn't in theaters. If it was in theaters, nobody really needs to see this. You don't need to even bother yourself to even watch this film. It is bad. And it has so much great potential to be great, but it was just bad. And I really feel bad for Kelly Rowland that she has this on her resume when she could have better movies as well as better anything on her resume. This definitely gets a 1. I guess, nah, it's not gonna get a 1. It'll get a 2, because I will say that the actual background settings look really, really good. The characters look good. Nobody looked busted. Everybody looks great. Very handsome, very beautiful. But as for the script, it was just straight up garbage. Nothing made sense. The editing was really bad. There was far too many plot holes. This had the potential to be great if there was a lot more work put on it, as well as having somebody look at your work. Now, I know that Tyler Perry is big enough. This guy is a billionaire. So he probably doesn't like a lot of people looking at his stuff. But if you want quality movies, quality TV, have a second set of eyes and go from there. That doesn't mean that you are weak in what you do. That means that you are smart to look at people that cares about the business that you're in, to have a good set of eyes to know what needs to be changed and what can make it better. And I think that's what he should have done. But yeah, this definitely gets a 2. And maybe that's a bit too generous, but it gets a 2. Do better, Tyler. Do better. But guys, I really want to hear your thoughts about this. What do you think about mea culpa? Oh yeah, by the way, this is actually a Latin phrase. I had no idea. It means through my fault. And it actually is a prayer of confession. So it's a prayer of confession in the Catholic Church. Even though religion really wasn't prominent in this at all, it still kind of sticks to the overall theme. So I'll give it that. So yeah, I think a 2 is probably really solid for this. But again, I want to hear your thoughts about this. For those that actually have seen this on Netflix, what do you think about it? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out.